Let's see what Hollywood dug up this time. Oh look, it's another Jurassic Park movie. It's been 65 million years since the dinosaurs went extinct, and it's been about 32 years since Jurassic Park's had a good movie. At this point, this thing is like a fossil of a fossil that's refusing to stay buried. The last one, Jurassic World Dominion, came out 3 years ago. This one is titled Jurassic World Rebirth. It is directed by Gareth Edwards. He also directed 2014 Godzilla and Star Wars Rogue One. He's good at creating innovative visual effects, showing scale, and letting the scenes breathe. All in all, I would say that he's a pretty solid visual cinematographer. The movie stars Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Mahershala Ali, and Rupert Friend. The opening scene is in a science facility on one of the dinosaur islands where they're doing some kind of experimentation on mutating dinosaurs and turning them into something that came out of one of those hills that have eyes. There's some kind of big bad mutated dinosaur locked behind a high-tech door that requires two people to open by turning a key from each side at the same time. Which makes me wonder, what happens if there's no one on the other side? I guess you just get stuck there. Anyways, one of the scientists is eating a Snickers bar and he drops the Snickers wrapper on the floor. The Snickers wrapper gets blown into one of the vents, which causes a malfunction and initiates a lockdown. The scientists run out, but ironically, the guy that dropped the Snickers bar got stuck and there was not enough time to open the doors for him. This is where we get our first glimpse of the D-Rex, the new big bad of this movie. You don't really get to see what the D-Rex looks like, but if I had to describe it, I would say it looked like a beluga whale, a rancor from Star Wars, and the T-Rex had a really fun night in Vegas. After that opening scene, we fast forward 17 years in the future, where we see a world after Dominion. Most of the dinosaurs have started to die because the planet has changed so much, and the only place they can survive is in a small zone around the tropical climates of the equator. We're then introduced to Rupert Friend's character, Martin Krebs, who pretty much plays the trope of this rich corporate pharmaceutical representative who is trying to recruit Scarlett Johansson's character Zora, an ex-special forces specialist in retrieval and extraction that's supposed to lead a team and collect the blood samples of 3 of the biggest dinosaurs still alive in order for the pharmaceutical company to synthesize a cure for all heart disease. So to accomplish this task, he's hiring a 5'3" woman to lead him into one of the deadliest islands on the planet with dinosaurs ready to kill them, and she's supposed to protect them while they collect the samples and complete their mission. And look, I get it. Who wouldn't want to be chaperoned by one of the Avengers on a deadly island full of dinosaurs? The team, of course, needs a dinosaur expert, which is where Jonathan Bailey's character, Dr. Henry Loomis, comes into play, who apparently studied under Dr. Alan Grant from the original movies. Oh, and by the way, Henry's character, he has like this personality of a golden retriever who's addicted to Altoids. There is literally scenes in this movie that are extended sequences of him chewing and crunching on Altoids. And I don't know if this is supposed to be his character quirk or a product placement, but those Altoids did more heavy lifting than some of the supporting cast. In order to find the dinosaurs and collect the blood samples, Zora recruits the help of Duncan, played by Mahershala Ali. He plays the role of a smuggler who has a boat and a crew willing to take them to the dinosaur island. And they're not really scared of any authority stopping them because apparently you have to be crazy to go to those islands and no one really cares. But I refuse to believe that there's no satellite tracking them or there isn't any type of coast guard that's looking for boats that are trying to get close to the island. There is also a secondary plot to the movie which revolves around this family who's taking a sailboat trip across the Atlantic right through dinosaur-infested waters. Now, I don't know why someone would do that, but I guess they were just taking a risk. There was no dinosaurs left. Anyways, it's this dad, his older daughter, her boyfriend, and his younger daughter. The older daughter's boyfriend is like a stereotype that jumps straight out of TikTok. He's lazy, talks back, doesn't want to do anything, and doesn't care about anything. At some point, the dad asks him, "Hey, it's your turn to take the wheel. I need to get some sleep." And the boyfriend's like, "You know what? I just got tired. I'm gonna go in there and take another nap. While they're sailing, they get attacked by a dinosaur, and I think the dinosaur, this is called the mosasaur, and this is also the first dinosaur that Zora's team is after. By the way, I forgot to mention, the three dinosaurs that they need the DNA from are the mosasaur, which is the largest aquatic dinosaur, the Quetzalcoatlus, which is the largest flying dinosaur, and the Titanosaurus, which is one of those long neck ones, but bigger. So the family gets attacked by the mosasaur, it pushes over their boat, they climb on top of it, they radio for help. Zora's team hears the radio signal, goes and rescues them. This is where they get chased by dinosaurs, chaos ensues, the family somehow finds their way off the boat, the rest of the team crashes into the island, and they get separated. This is pretty much where the first act of the movie ends and the second act begins. For the first act of the movie, we get a lot of setup, we get a lot of exposition for our cast of characters. Characters go on exposition dumps about their traumatic past, one after the other. You get some of the supporting characters who have one or two lines each, who are just enough for them to get eaten later in the movie, and we also get to meet the family. After they crash land on the island, the movie follows two parallel stories. One following the family, and one following Scarlett Johansson's expedition team. Until they both meet up later in the final act of the movie. Now let's talk about the dinosaurs. The mutant dinosaurs were very underutilized. You don't get to see much of them, most of them appear in the final act. There is one scene that really pissed me off, where they show the original raptor for a few seconds, only to be killed by one of the new mutated versions of a raptor with wings. And I don't know if I'm just biased, but I think the original raptor design is a lot more menacing than these new mutadons. There is a lot of cameos of dinosaurs from the original movies. There's also this little baby dinosaur that the little girl finds, and she becomes pretty attached to it. Funny because at the beginning she hated dinosaurs, but by the end of the movie, it became like her emotional support animal. There is a pretty cool scene with a T-Rex, and apparently that one's straight from the original book, and that scene is actually probably my favorite scene in the movie. There is a scene where Scarlett Johansson is walking through this tall grass, and it's pretty suspenseful, and you think maybe they'll get attacked by some velociraptors, or something is stalking them, but instead, the big long-necked dinosaurs were laying and hiding in the grass, and these things were giant, so I don't know how they didn't see them. These are one of the dinosaurs, by the way, that they needed the DNA sample from, so I guess they just kind of like, it worked out for them. This is a scene where also they used a little bit of the original music from John Williams, the na-na-na-na-na, it's a dinosaur. And I think the music was underutilized and it was used at the wrong times. It didn't feel like it was earned. But in this scene, they also showed like 50 of these dinosaurs when you looked out into the valley, and these things were gigantic. And I don't know how the food economy works on this island, but they have to have been ordering Uber Eats off screen to bring them plants or something, because none of the vegetation was eaten. Oh, and by the way, after they crash landed, instead of immediately trying to like go to safety, they know there's a compound on the island with a helipad. And they also mentioned that there's going to be some type of helicopter that comes around and flies by for 2 minutes. And if they're there, they will get rescued. So instead of going immediately to that compound so they can get rescued, they continue on their quest to collect these DNA samples because I guess that's more important than their survival. The way the characters moved around the island made no sense narratively. At some point, they had to collect the DNA sample from the flying dinosaur, and they had to climb this unbelievably tall cliff. The scenes just skipped to them being on top of the cliff, and they were just ready to go on with their mission. If I had climbed out that cliff, I would have needed to sleep for the rest of the day just so I can get up. It almost felt like the characters were warping around the island using hidden Super Mario pipes. Until the third act, when they actually went down into the sewer system, into these pipes, and they fast traveled down to the docks. And this was funny because the character of Rupert Friend had gotten on a Jeep previously and has been driving for like 10 minutes, and he still made it there after them. They literally beat him to it. None of it made any sense. There was also a scene in which they tried to recreate the original tense kitchen scene with the velociraptors from the original Jurassic Park. This time it was in a gas station, and it was with the mutadons, which were like raptors with wings. But the scene didn't live up to the original at all. It was just a cheap Temu version of it. It just didn't feel the same and it was far too short. And let's talk about the D-Rex, the big bad of the movie. He wasn't even in it for that long. Showed up at the end for like a minute or two. They shot a flare at it. It was pretty cinematic. He chomped down on a helicopter like it was one of Henry's Altoids. And then he kind of walked away. Mahershala Ali's character threw flares as his Jurassic Park fashion. They made it seem like he sacrificed himself to save the team so they can get on the boat, but later he was fine in the river waving at them, he got on the boat, and they all left together. And that was pretty much the end of the movie. And look, I get it, it's a Jurassic Park movie. But I had hope for this one, because it was written by David Cope, who worked on the script of the original Jurassic Park movie along Michael Crichton, who wrote the original novel. David Cope also wrote scripts or worked on the scripts for the original Mission Impossible and the 2002 Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. So I thought maybe he could recapture the magic from the original movie. And the reality is, this movie is going to make a bank at the box office. Jurassic Park Dominion made $1 billion. Audiences go and watch these movies. There really isn't any other choice for dinosaur fans if they want to see them on the big screen. And of course, the studios are gonna keep making the movies because there isn't that many billion-dollar franchises that drive the general audience to the movies that are also a sure bet anymore, as we can see with the Marvel movies and their failures. In conclusion, if you just want to turn off your brain and watch some dinosaurs chase people on the big screen, you might enjoy this one. If you're a Jurassic Park fan and you're looking for the evolution of the franchise, then you might be disappointed. And if you're just a general movie lover who likes great story, character building, then you should skip this one. The last thing I want to say about Jurassic World Rebirth is that it is a lot like the mutant dinosaurs that it showcases. It is made from bits and pieces from every other Jurassic Park movie that is greater than it. It is just a corporate product meant to sell tickets and make lots and lots of money. For anyone that stuck out this long, thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you like, subscribe, and share the video. This is a new channel and I'm looking to make more movie discussions like this. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.